Welcome to a very emotional episode of the Lion and the Liverbird Podcast. Today, as Rohit and I, we take some time out to discuss life of Diogo Jota. For those not in the know, Diogo Jota was a Liverpool striker, and he tragically passed away a few days back. With his brother, they were driving down, I think, from Portugal to Spain. He was driving, and he was involved in a car accident. We won't get into the details of that. But it came as a shock to a lot of people in the footballing community because we don't really get this kind of news. And it took me quite a lot of time to actually understand and, accept that this has happened because this came to me on WhatsApp by a football journalist friend of mine. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "Oh, what? This is true." So we'll maybe talk about Jota, the player that he was, what he meant to Liverpool fans, what he meant to me, what Rohit thinks about him. And I think the most poignant thing about all of this was the wave of emotion that came around. We've seen players from Portugal, the national team that Jota represents. They're completely broken, they're shattered. Ruben Neves, Joao Cancelo, Bernardo Silva, all these guys. Liverpool players have sent out a lot of strong messages to Jota and his family. And I just want to start it off by saying that, Jota was a player that I have always said is the most clinical striker that Liverpool had. Uh, Despite, Mohamed Salah being there, Luis Diaz being there were so many good players that he played with, Sadio Mane also for a brief period of time. But Jota was an enigma of sorts. This was another thing that I spoke to you, Rohit, a few weeks or maybe months back, and I wanted to do a podcast about players who don't seem to have everything, yet they seem to be able to do everything. And Jota was that kind of a player. He wasn't the most physical guy. He wasn't the most athletic build. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't somebody with extreme skill, but he could waltz around any defense without any problem. Arsenal fans will attest to that with the goals that he scored against them. He could head the ball. He was always at the right place at the right time. He didn't have electric pace, but he was always there. He could head. He could critically do anything, and he was two-footed. Uh, I just think that was something that he fit so well into the Klopp system. He fit well into the Klopp system, and it was kind of a weird signing initially when he came from Wolverhampton Wanderers. He was one of the few players that actually came up with Wolverhampton Wanderers, that whole Portuguese brigade with Nuno Espirito Santo. And I had my doubts initially about him. He was a good quality player, there's no doubt, but he used to play on the left. We had Mane there. We didn't know how he would fit in, but then his versatility showed for us his versatility. Playing down the middle, playing as a false nine sometimes, playing on the right, playing on the left. Uh, it was just incredible. Rohit, what are your thoughts on Jota as a player? I mean, you've seen it from the opposition side, so what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So I remember Jota scoring this goal against Chelsea a couple of seasons ago. He got the ball. He basically barged his way through Badiashile and Thiago Silva, both of whom are physically much bigger than him, and you would assume they're stronger, but that's what Jota had, right? He had good close control, he had tenacity, and he had amazing finishing, like you said, right? It's really sad to see him pass away. And the other thing with Jota is, like you correctly said, right? You can see from the reaction of his teammates. He was a highly loved and respected footballer, right? He was a great teammate, and he contributed on the field and off the field, right? Of course, on the field with good goals, but off the field with his friendship and camaraderie. And the tears from the likes of Joao Cancelo, Joao Neves, Pedro Neto in the Club World Cup is testament to that. So, basically a very, very, very tragic loss.
Yeah. And the thing is that Jota wasn't just somebody who did well on the field, as you said, off the field. So there have been a lot of stories and anecdotes of him always promoting and pushing women's soccer. That's something that you don't see all the time, but he was somebody who loved the game truly. And he always tried to promote women's soccer. There was another thing I wanted to talk about, and that's something I read somewhere that it felt like he was that guy, a normal bloke like us who could end up playing football because he was an exceptional PlayStation player. I don't know if a lot of fans know this, but this guy was an elite FIFA player. So he would play Ultimate Team, would go into competitions, he would win. I would often joke that Jota was awake the entire night before a match just playing the game. He's beaten a lot of professional players. And there was one thing that was really great about him. One, obviously, his celebration was that he's sitting down and playing the PlayStation controller. That's something a lot of the players have done in recent days to pay tribute to him. The other thing was Liverpool's players and the Liverpool players were always, promoted in the new FIFA games, the recent 3, 4 years, and there would be quite a few players who would not be happy with their ratings. I think there was a clip of Harvey Elliott not being happy with the ratings, and Jota would go and put his hand across them and say, no, 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 this is good, this is good, this is where you can work on, this is where you will improve and stuff like that. There's so many great stories about him. He just felt like this really really nice guy. And continuing that thing, I saw a quote from Mohamed Salah. Like he was saying, he's truly lost for words, and he never thought that something like this could happen. And I don't think anybody did. But it's so strange that he's saying that quote. It's going to be extremely difficult to accept that Diogo won't be there when we go back. My thoughts are with his wife, his children, and of course his parents who suddenly lost the children. Those close to Diogo and his brother Andre need all the support they can get. They will never be forgotten. End quote. That's Salah. Luis Diaz has come out and said great things about him. You've seen people are being very somber in the funeral. I don't know how so many pictures got out of it, but I don't think there should have been so many photos, but that's a different story. But the one post that really got me was Andy Robertson. I don't know if you've read this or not, Rohit, but Robertson's one is, a tearjerker. I'll just read out some excerpts. The ones I'm thinking about most right now are the family. The loss is too much to bear. I'm so sorry that they have lost two such precious souls, Diogo and Andre. For me, I want to talk about my mate, my buddy, the bloke I loved and will miss like crazy. I could talk about him as a player for hours, but none of that feels like it's important, right? Like it matters right now. It's the man, the person. He was such a good guy, the best, so genuine, just normal and real. This is really fun. He was the most British foreign player I've ever met. We used to joke he was really Irish. I tried to claim him as Scottish. Obviously, I even called him Diego Macjota. And he spoke about them going to watch the darts, going to watch Cheltenham the horse race, and Robertson was there at the wedding a few days back, and he just can't believe that this has happened. So it's emotionally draining for a lot of players, and I really don't know how people will. I mean, the team will be shattered. I really don't know how they're going to deal with this because it's so much to process. They're two young footballers in the prime of their lives. Jota was 28 and they've just been taken away just so randomly. And uh, I really don't know. Like all my football friends, they all message like, "Oh my God, this has happened," and like we just don't know what to do next. But I think it's going to be a very emotional season for Liverpool. Obviously, I would not like to comment on what the next steps are or what should be, what's right, what's wrong. I think they know what to do, and I think and I know that they will do the right thing. But yeah, I think what we can do is remember the best Jordan moments. I love that goal he had against Tottenham. We were 3-0 up, we're coasting, and then Tottenham do a 3-3, and Richarlison scores, and he does the pigeon celebration, and we're all sad, and then the next moment, like Jota gets the ball, he just runs past, smacks it with his left foot down to the corner, and he celebrates, and it's crazy. But yeah, Diego Jota, you will be missed. Uh, there's really nothing much that we can say. For all who are listening, please let us know what your favorite Jota moment was. Maybe there's something that stood out for you. And if you like this episode or you do want to follow us for more Liverpool and Chelsea content, please like, share, and subscribe. Uh, Very sad, sad situation, and you'll never walk alone, Diogo. That's all we have to say as we sign in.